Next up, talk about Capitan America, man. Capitan America. Was it worth it? Was this whole Captain America Brave New World experiment, was it worth it? You know? Um, I'm pretty sure now everybody's seen the movie. Who will go and see it. I'm pretty sure we'll go have seen the movie. But how do I want to attack this? Because it's ways to attack this. How do I want to attack this? If you're a Marvel fan, I'm pretty sure your circle of friends or your crew or whatever, y'all have had debates about Captain America or Sam Wilson as Captain America. We know he's that in the comics. They moved him from Falcon and he stepped into the shoes of Steve Rogers and became Captain America. Pretty sure it was some debate around that, right? So I came across this article on comicbookmovie.com. It was called The Rise and Stall of Sam Wilson. That article, it made me want to do this. Talk about, because it dropped a lot of gems in that, man. You know, it dropped a lot of gems in that. And after watching Brave New World, are we satisfied with Sam Wilson from how we were introduced to him up until the point of now? Are we good with that? What's he done justice? Is his story done justice? His transition from Falcon to Captain America, did it feel earned, or did Marvel fumble the ball? Right? Did they fumble the ball? Now, I want to start with character development. Let's start there. Character development. Steve Rogers had a well-defined arc. You know what I'm saying? Scrawny little dude, scrawny little soldier, whatever. Unbreakable spirit. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever for the team. Throw his body on the line, jump on grenades or whatever. All the way from that to becoming the leader of the Avengers. Then we get to Sam's journey. It's a little bit more complicated, right? A little bit more complicated. Now, some will argue that Sam's character hasn't had the same level of depth or growth that Steve got. I mean, we know he got the shield and everything like that, but his character development more so played out in Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it really didn't explore his psyche to the best of his ability, right? Right? It relied kind of too much on external conflicts. Right? Now, I want to know, do you feel like Sam's internal struggles were given the weight that they deserved? Do you think they were given the weight that they were deserved? His internal struggles. He had some stuff going on. We ain't going to get into it. This is more so for you. Like I said, I'm asking questions. These are the things that I want to know. Do you think his internal struggles, him wearing the red, white, and blue as a black man, was that fleshed out to the best of its ability? Did it feel forced? Let's talk about racism and patriotism and the intersection of the two, or the not intersection of the two. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier leaned heavy into these issues of race and patriotism, especially with Isaiah Bradley's story that we got, right? That was probably one of the most powerful moments of the series. But did these themes feel naturally woven into Sam's story? Because this is supposed to be about Sam. From the Falcon and the Winter Soldier all the way up to Brave New World, did it feel like it was Sam's story? Did it? Did it feel like it was his story? I don't know. I do not know. Right? Where can I trying to think about something that really brought it home for Sam, and I really can't think of, you know what I'm saying? It seems like everything when it came to Sam was like, you know what I'm saying, was bad for him. And then, well, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, it seemed like everything was bad. And then in Brave New World, everything was good. It just went from one extreme to the other extreme. That's what it seemed like for me. You know what I'm saying? Now, some fans felt like Marvel might have placed a little bit too much emphasis on the idea of a Black Captain America rather than just letting Sam be Captain America. And I think that's a valid point. Right? And the reason why I say I think it's a valid point, because as much as they emphasized Cap being the Black Captain America, they didn't go far enough with him being the Black Captain in my eyes. Now, I could be wrong. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all feel that I'm wrong. But I don't think that they went enough. So since they didn't go enough, to me, just letting him be Captain America, take the bumps and bruises that come along with it, I think would have been better, right? Instead of getting this gradual evolution of things, he was just handed the shield. Here you go. Then he spent the entire series debating on whether he should take it or not. Am I good enough? Am I not good enough? Oh. Now, did that approach help or hurt? Or was it more so, hey, maybe I'm not good enough, especially with me being, I think it should have been more so if they were going to do that approach with him being a Black man jumping into the boots of the, you know, of Steve Rogers, who was a white man, and playing off a race the way that they seem to do. If they would have just let him take the shield and be Captain America and just let it gradually grow on him and him gradually learn how to be Captain, because we really didn't see him learn how to be Captain America or even learn how to be his version of Captain America, right? We didn't even get that. We didn't even get that. Now, I think the series, because and reason why I'm harping on the series, because the series was where we were supposed to get the character momentum, the building of said character. That's why I'm talking the series right now. I think it had great intentions, but it also stalled Sam's momentum. I think it stalled his momentum. The stuff that we saw him doing as Falcon, right? The greatness that he did as Falcon kind of got ran over, rewritten due to him taking the shield. Right? If you compare this to Steve's journey, he didn't need an entire series questioning whether he should be Captain America or not. He just was. He was just Captain America. And I know it's some debatable wiggle room, and I would love for y'all to, you know, cuss me out in the comments and let me know what y'all think with me saying that. But I think the story of him just being Captain America would have made Brave New World a better movie. You know? Because do y'all think that Marvel overcomplicated Sam's path to becoming Cap? Or did they have to have these necessary explorations of these real world events, right? Did they have to do that? Because even with the series, it was kind of real world events. And then when we get to the movies, we know real world events kind of surrounding that. And that goes back to what I'm saying. It seems like the external conflicts was more important than the internal conflicts that Sam should have been having, wearing that shield and I'm sorry, wearing that red, white, and blue and having that shield and taking up the moniker of Captain America. Like I said, it went from one extreme to the next. Not doing good in Falcon and Winter Soldier to Captain America, and I got it all handled. Right? Now, let's flip it a little bit. Let's flip it a little bit. The actual decisions made in Falcon and Winter Soldier, one of the bigger criticisms of that is Sam's character was often reactive instead of proactive. I'm going to say that again. He was often reactive instead of being proactive. Right? And we can just look at the interactions between him and Carly if we take it back. And I'm going to refer to my I'm going to refer to this this article right here. You know, even Zemo kind of called him out on his whole thing, right? The writers turned him into this terrorist sympathizer, and he never really learned from that position, right? Zemo even called him out saying, "You are seeing something in her that isn't there." And like I said, this is talking about Carly. And Zemo wasn't wrong. He sympathizes with Carly's cause. These people have a valid reason to be angry. Fails to fully condemn her actions. Tries to talk her down even after multiple violent incidents. I mean, that's his thing. He talks him down. He was a counselor. I get it. But when does it click? You know what I'm saying? When does it click, Sam? Now, in the end, he continues to lecture people on referring to them as terrorists. And I get, you know what I'm saying? I get it somewhat. I get it somewhat, but they was out here murking people. They was out here murking people. You know what I'm saying? The crazy thing is, Sam didn't actually stop Carly. It was Sharon who did it. Right? And they say in this article that this is a clear example of narrative shielding. It removes the moral weight from Sam's hand. So this is with narrative shielding, to me, it's what it sounds like is they're taking away Sam's responsibility. Like they said, it removes the moral weight. It preserves his virtue by not forcing him to confront Carly's end directly. And it dodges the difficult question, would Sam stop Carly if he had to? Would he have stopped Carly? We don't know, because Sharon did. They go on to say this last point is important. What if Sam stops Carly only to be wrong? Or if he's right, how does the weight of the mantle affect him? This is internal conflict at its finest. Can Sam, like Steve, still maintain his principles when he's forced to do something he doesn't want to do? Will he regret and learn from his decisions? And I think those are valid points. You got to remember, Cap did, you know what I'm saying? He went against his government for the most part, if you want to say he went against his country, he did a lot of things and still stood on his principle and was still, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the whole Bucky situation, right? And I know a lot of people say, well, did you watch Brave New World? He kind of did that when it was Isaiah Bradley. The thing is, he the one who got Isaiah Bradley in that mess, right? And it still was no stakes, necessarily any kind of stakes involved when it came to it. Now, we know Steve had clear moral stances, but Sam spent a lot of time debating with Carly's cause. I'm going to take it back to that. He spent a lot of time debating that. Was it justified? Even as he was watching her commit these atrocities, these violent acts. Now, was this a sign of empathy or a lack of conviction? What was it with Sam? Now, I think some people will argue that Marvel tried too hard to make him the reasonable hero instead of just letting him take decisive action. And I've said this before, it seems like they didn't want to be controversial. They didn't want to make him, though, they didn't want Sam to make the controversial decision. Right? We needed the flawed, we need flawed heroes. That's the hero's journey. I think that's what Marvel keeps losing it. Every time with these mantle swaps or these, I don't even know what you want to call them, legacy carrying characters or whatever, they never really take the hero's journey. It's always kind of real easy, kind of it's handed to them, and there's no development of that hero's journey. Now let's look at U.S. Agent John Walker for a second. His arc from what we watched in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I'm telling you, everything that series, I would invite everybody to go back and rewatch that series. But he had a clear conflict, a fall from grace, and a moment of redemption. However slight it was, he had that. Meanwhile, Sam's biggest defining moment was some speech at the end. Right? Now, the speech, yes, it was a pretty powerful speech. It was a good speech. But was it enough for Sam? You know, was it enough? Should Sam have been given a more action-driven defining moment instead of a speech? It seemed like that's all what Sam is good for. In the movie, let me talk Red Hulk down with a speech. In the TV show, a speech. They trying to make him the Obama of Marvel or something, right? They're trying to make Sam the Obama of Marvel, man. Was that a satisfying moment for you? Did that really hold y'all to the point to where, yeah, Sam is that dude, I'm rocking with Sam? Or do y'all think it should have been handled differently? Not saying that you can't have that speech, but should there have been something, you know what I'm saying? Even with Superman, it's like he's got to make a choice. Do I save Lois or do I save the city? Right? Things got to happen. That brings me to the next thing of power versus symbolism. Power versus symbolism. Should Captain America need superpowers? I'm sorry. Does Captain America need superpowers? That's a big debate. We know Steve had the super soldier serum, which, you know, it enhanced his abilities and made him a uh, physical force out there on the battlefield. Being able to do all these great feats and things of that nature. And not saying that that's what made him Captain America. It was other things that made him Captain America. But those things, I mean, that super soldier serum did help. Having abilities did help. And it was part of his it was still a part of a defining situation for him. That slider was still up, you know what I'm saying? Now, Sam, on the other hand, just a man with a wingsuit and a shield. Just the wingsuit and the shield. Does that weaken his credibility as Cap, or do y'all see it as being better? Does that make him a better Cap? Right? Now, it's an argument to be made that Sam represents the ideal Captain America. Not somebody with abilities. He's not enhanced, but just somebody who just stands for doing the right thing. Stands for what's right. But does that work in the MCU with all of these superpower threats? What does Sam do against Thanos? Ultron. Can he talk Ultron down? What does he do against Red Skull? These superpowered threats. That's and that's where a lot of the comparisons come in, about Batman, right? Batman ain't got no superpowers or whatever. But the thing is, he's feared and he's respected. Tactical genius. Combat skills. Do you think that they maybe should have written Sam in a similar way that shows his tactician skills, that shows his combat skills? Because I mean, we got that. Now, I'm not saying we didn't get it, but written to the point to where it's respected and it's feared, and it's not just given to him. One of the biggest complaints when it came to Shuri was she puts on the suit, she takes the synthesized herb, and now she can fight. But nowhere did we see her being this fighter, right? We didn't see that in the movie. Didn't see it in a TV show. We didn't see nothing to where she was a fighter. Yeah, she fought, but I'm talking about a fighter. Now we fast forward into Wakanda Forever, and she throwing hands with Namor, a mutant who is what, 500 to 600 years old. Pretty sure been, studied martial arts at least for 600 years, and she is holding her own against him. Makes sense. Because I would love to see Sam have more of a strategist role, outsmarting his, you know what I'm saying, especially with him not having powers. I think that should be the main thing. He should try to avoid what I want to say, conflict. He should want to avoid conflict at all costs for the most part. Not just trying to dodge bullets and, has a shield. And he should be strategic in the way he fights. He don't even fight. He fights like he has powers. To me, his fighting style, the way he fights should be indicative of him not even having powers. His fighting style should be, I need to end this quick because if they get the upper hand, I am done. That's how I look at it anyway. Now, the movies come out. I think it's crossed over 400 million, I want to say, or a little bit under 4 last time I checked. Not doing the best, not doing bad, but it ain't doing the best. I don't foresee it making its uh budget back. I see it being a financial black spot, you know. But it is what it is. This is Marvel, man. And if y'all been following me, y'all know that I put my pom poms down for Marvel a while back. I think Feige needs to go. I've said that. You know what I'm saying? Is as a Marvel fan, I'm here to critique, and I'm gonna critique it as a fan because I want to see Marvel do well, and I believe that it's time for a new coach, time for some turnover. It's time to get some fresh ideas up in there, and that's just how I feel. That's just how I feel. But y'all let me know how do y'all feel about this Sam Wilson situation. Don't kick my back end too much. But what I said, some people out there it's ready to go in on me, man. But yeah, y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know down in the comments. Like I said, don't kick my back end too much.